It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on the 4th of July. My apologies, folks. For almost 2 hours now, I have not been able to get online, which means I couldn't finish the show. I couldn't get the show set up. I couldn't go on, start the show. So finally, I got it back online, but I'm still only, partially done with the show. So I'm going to be flying literally from the seat of my pants on this. So anyway, welcome to the 4th of July show. There's nothing like getting things screwed up right off the get-go. All right. Before we start, let me bring you up to date on what happened with me yesterday. Most of you know I had to take the chair to a repaired shop in Roanoke. This was not a Will facility, folks. This is just someone that handles chairs and repairs them. They do handle Will chairs, but I mean, they have a demo and they sell from that. So anyway, the guy that I talked to is a former rep for Will. So he knows Sylvia and he's heard of me. And, so anyway, I got down there and we're hoping that it was one of two things. The charger was bad. That would have been cheap. Or the battery's bad. That's expensive. Well, it turned out to be neither. The charger's fine. They put the new battery in and it still wouldn't start. So there's some kind of electronic issue. However, there was no way they could get to that yesterday. So I had to leave the chair in Roanoke. Somebody said, well, that's not suitable. Well, yeah, I understand it's not suitable. I wanted the chair too, because I had a CT scan to go to, which was a pretty long roll. They offered a loaner chair, but that would have been something I'm not familiar with, and who knows if it would fit on my car. I mean, there's all kinds of issues with the chair that I'd never even looked at. So I said, no, that's okay. I'll just use my other chair. I foresaw this happening, so I had my chair sitting out where I parked the car so I could pull the car in, open the door, get to the new chair, which was 3 steps away, take it back around to the back and go into my loading procedures on the lift. So I had foreseen that happening. Well, it happened. So I'm not upset about it. I mean, let's face it, folks, and it's been 3.5 years. That chair's taken me a lot of places. So, all right, so let's get on, and we'll attempt to do a show today. Just don't hold it to me if things get screwed up along the way. And again, I'm sorry that I didn't get any promotion out. I don't even have a description of the show done yet. Not that because I couldn't get online. So, all right, back to the beginning, sort of. Welcome to Friday Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. This show is brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and by Chillie's Cruises. Here are the headlines that we're going to cover this morning in the no definite order. Body of missing cruise guests found in Alaska. Holland America announces the 4th of July cruise. Harmony of the Seas to sail early. A passenger dies in Corfu. A suitcase in the ocean. A ferry sinks off Bali. An MSC joins Grand Bahamas partnership. Finally, a suspected spy arrested in Crete, and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. All right, in addition to today being Independence Day in this country, it's also National Barbecue Spare Ribs Day. I know somebody that's cooking ribs today. That would be Nanook of the North John. I looked at him when he was unpacking them last night. And he's got some gorgeous looking ribs too. So anyway, so we'll take it from there. So go cook some ribs. That'd be a lofty thing for you to do today. I don't even know what Amanda's cooking. I'm so totally off kilter this morning. So I'll have to see what Amanda's doing today. I don't even know. All right, if you're a podcast person, you can always access the show via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for travel and cruise industry news, and up pops the Fat Travel Guy. All right. So here's where I'm going to get into trouble today, folks, because I have started off with some things under normal procedure. I did not get stuff done for other things. So we're just going to roll with what we've got. I'll be back with today's news after that quick break from the network sponsors. See you back here in just a minute. A search and rescue operation continued in Alaska after a cruise ship guest was reported missing while hiking. Tess Buonafi, 62, from Kentucky, arrived in Juneau aboard the Norwegian Bliss on Tuesday. She had told family members she planned to hike the mountains in Juneau. The last confirmed sighting was at 7:30 a.m. when she left the ship. She planned to ride the tram up Mount Roberts and then hike the Gold Ridge and Gastineau Peak. The hike is considered challenging, and the surrounding terrain still had some patches of snow on the ground. Unfortunately, the body of Dr. Tess Buonafi was found on Thursday morning by a crew on an Alaska Army National Guard helicopter. Austin McDaniel, a spokesman for the Alaska Department of Public Safety, reported Dr. Buonafi was a physician at the UK Health Center in Lexington, Kentucky. Okay, let's see here. That would be next. In the weather this morning in the Atlantic, showers and thunderstorms have increased in association with an area of low pressure located about 100 miles off the Florida coast. Environmental conditions are forecast to be marginally conducive for further development, and a short-lived tropical or subtropical depression could form late today or on Saturday while the system drifts northward. The low is expected to move inland over the southeast U.S. Saturday night or early Sunday. Regardless of development, heavy rainfall is possible across portions of the west central and southwestern Florida through early Saturday and across coastal sections of the Carolinas beginning later on Saturday. And now Air Force Reserve helicopter aircraft is scheduled to investigate the system later today. Currently, they're calling for a 40% chance of further development in the next 48 hours, but an 80% chance over the next 7 days. And in the Pacific, we do have to look at one little storm. Large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms, partially associated with a tropical wave, is centered a few hundred miles south of southern Mexico. Gradual development of the system is expected during the next few days, and a tropical depression is likely to form later this weekend or early next week. If the storm moves generally west-northwestern and well off the coast of Mexico, 40% chance of further development in the next 72 hours, and 80% chance over the next 48. The 4th of July is all about independence, and a new mobility device gives you the freedom to go wherever you want. Shop for scooters, wheelchairs, power chairs, walking aids, and more in our online mobility store and save 12%. This offer is valid until July the 6th. Use SRN 11137, code July 12 to get 12% off statewide. Shop online or call 844-664-7467 for the Scooter Round 4th of July sale. The United States is about to turn 250. And to commemorate the big birthday, Holland American Line has announced a new theme cruise that will launch from Boston, the home of the American Revolution. The America's 250th celebration, Stars and Stripes voyage, will depart on America's Independence Day, July the 4th, 2026, aboard the 81,000 gross ton Zuiderdam. It will feature calls in Canada, Virginia, and New York City, timed with another major maritime celebration. The 7-day cruise with up to 1,900 passengers will launch its cruise from Boston Harbor, where the Boston Tea Party kick-started the revolution in 1776. Setting sail at 9 p.m., guests will witness the harbor's distinctive 4th of July fireworks. After setting sail, Zuiderdam will journey to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, then to Norfolk, a rare stop for the Holland America line. Here, passengers can access key American historical sites with shore excursions, including visits to Colonial Williamsburg, Jamestown Settlement, and the American Revolution Museum at Yorktown. Each destination played a significant role in the fight for independence. Guests of the special sailing will also spend a night in Manhattan on July the 8th to coincide with the conclusion of the Sail Forth 250 Tall Ships event. New York City will be hosting the largest gathering of tall ships and naval vessels in the world for the occasion, more than 30 from 17 different nations. That show runs from July the 3rd to July the 8th, 2026. In a letter booked to Harmony of the Seas guests, they announced that on September 21st, the voyage to the Western Caribbean, the cruise line announced that the ship will depart half an hour earlier than originally scheduled at 3:30 p.m. rather than 4 p.m. The cruise line offered no reason for the altered departure time. So, folks, if you're flying in or driving in, you need to adjust your arrival schedule accordingly, because if you show up at 4 o'clock, the ship's going to be gone. So, just saying. The cruise also ended up being an unfortunate tragedy for a 67-year-old British man. On Tuesday, the passenger was pronounced dead while his cruise ship was docked at the Greek island of Corfu. No further details were available as to what ship he was on, if it happened before they landed in Corfu or if it happened while he was on the ship in Corfu. We just know that the gentleman passed away and the ship was in Corfu when the information came ashore. So, another sad situation. All right, the next story this morning, folks. Carnival Adventures 4-night sailing that embarked from Sydney on the 1st of July started out on a bit of a sour note after the porters dropped one of the passengers' suitcases into the harbor. It was not reported if the wet suitcase made it to the cabin. I wonder if they, fished it out and delivered it to the cabin wet, and the people would open up their suitcase and a fish jumps out or something. That would be kind of shocking, wouldn't it? And another sad story, a ferry en route to Java's Ketapang port in Bali's Gilmanuk sank late Wednesday, claiming at least 6 lives and leaving 39 unaccounted for, according to Indonesia's National Search and Rescue Agency. The KMP Tunu Pratima Jaya, that's a hell of a name, went down roughly 30 minutes after departure, carrying 53 passengers, 12 crew, and 22 vehicles. The vessel had begun listing before submerging, and rescuers suspect an engine room leak may have contributed to the disaster. Okay, so the next story today, folks, I think I have. Oh, no, I don't. I did have that. That was where the people are waiting to hear word on the people that are lost at sea. Sad situation in Bali. All right. That's not even supposed to be up now. All right. The next story, folks, I thought I had a picture and I apparently don't. Grand Bahamas Shipyard is set to welcome MSC Cruises as a partner, joining Carnival Corporation and Royal Caribbean, who are part owners of the facility in a joint venture. The yard is set to expand with 2 new floating docks, which is part of a $600 million investment. The new docks are set to be operational in 2026. This one is kind of stunning, folks. Last week, an alarm was triggered with Greek intelligence after investigators uncovered. Oh, no, that's not right. What happened here? There we go. Sorry about this. I told you this was going to be a little rough this morning, guys. A 26-year-old Azerbaijani national, Azerbaijani national. Wow, that's hard to say. Entered Greece in January via Warsaw using a Polish residency permit, was arrested near the strategically important NATO base at Souda Bay on June 22nd. Greek intelligence agency EYP, working for the state police, found over 5,000 photographs stored across various digital devices in his possession. Many of the images shows military facilities, Greek warships, U.S. Navy vessels. But it was the photos of cruise ships moored at Souda that particularly raised red flag. What makes the case even more alarming is the striking similarity to a parallel investigation in Cyprus. Just a day before the arrest in Crete, Cypriot authorities detained a 44-year-old Azerbaijani man allegedly acting on orders from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps to carry out surveillance of Israel and Western targets. According to shared intelligence, both subjects used identical camera models, memory cards, tripods, and some encrypted communications tools. The Cypriot suspect had been allegedly preparing an attack on Israeli nationals. And the gentleman that's in custody is not cooperating at all. So who knows what this is all about, and we may never know. The suspect rented a hotel room with direct views of Saudi Sauda Navy base, prepaying 1,200 euros in cash, which is a method to avoid digital tracking. Surveillance images were reported taken using a professional grade digital camera mounted on a tripod. Excuse me. Wow, sorry. Both purchased after his arrival in Athens. Did I miss anything? I don't think so. All right, that's going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. Let me go back and check this to see if I am correct that that covered the stories. Corfu, Suitcase, Ferry, MSC, Spa. Yep. Okay, so again, my apologies for all the screw up this morning. We're going to run over to the chat room. Having throat problems here. All right. We'll see who's made it in the chat room. And again, my apologies for all the screw up. Laura Wilson's here, says, nice. How are you doing today? Good. Taylor Webster says, hi. Hello, Taylor. There's Kenneth up in Pennsylvania. Happy 4th of July. We're getting ready to go kayaking. Very good. And Goddess says, hi, happy Independence. I'm sure that's supposed to be Independence, U.S. Thank you very much. Katie says, happy 4th to Chillie and everyone from up there on Martha's Vineyard. There's Hot Air Tom. Chillie got computer troubles. Yes, I did. That was for 2 hours too. This wasn't just at the last second that this happened. I've been trying everything I could think of, and I've rebooted the computer and the phone both 30 times probably. I went in and rebooted the router thing because he was here yesterday. They had to put new boxes, cable boxes for each of our televisions, which is nice because they're these little things now. They're not the big box that we've had forever. So that all got done yesterday, and everything was working fine. So I just don't know where the issue might have come from. I don't see how it could be related to that, but I suppose anything is possible. However, when I finally got it to connect, it's connected. I think Hot Air Tom, the bottom line is this computer's just wearing out. I need to seriously start thinking about a new computer. We saw some great fireworks last night from our balcony. They were shot off from the water near Fish Lips. I love Fish Lips. Hot Air says, happy 4th to everybody. I had a whole bunch of pictures from Hot Air Tom down at Port Canaveral and a wonderful story, which is going to have to be saved now to the next show because they didn't get uploaded. And it's going back and finding it to upload it would be a pain in the you know what. But anyway, we got a good Hot Air Tom story coming on Monday if I don't do anything the rest of this weekend. Yes, we check out Monday and spend the next week in Myrtle Beach. You might be traveling Monday, so who knows if you'll hear it or not. Gretchen says, I forgot it was Friday. Seems like Saturday because of the holiday. Yes, it does. Katie says happy 4th. No excursion to visit Otter Tom. How rude. Yeah, isn't that the truth? I wonder how the cruise lines clean up after their shells when they shoot off the fireworks, because I know when I shoot off fireworks, it's quite a mess at home. I don't think any of the ships actually shoot them off. I'm not sure that would be allowed. So it has to be, if somebody, it has to be a land-based thing. Like at Fish Lips, that's a restaurant, but it's on land. It could be out in the parking lot or something. I don't think they can shoot them off on the ships themselves. Could be wrong about that, but that's somewhere in the back of my pea brain. I remember hearing that. Tom says, I saw an irate post that Porter's lost a bunch of suitcases into the Hudson for the getaway recently. The OP had electronics ruined, and NCL would not provide them any satisfaction. Well, yeah, I'm not. I got to think the cruise lines need to buck up and take credit for that. Which means if they need to replace it, they need to replace it. I mean, they're at least de facto employees of the cruise line. Yes, I know some of them work for the ports, but they're wearing a shirt that says Norwegian Cruise Line or a badge that says Norwegian Cruise Line. So to us, they look like employees. I think the cruise lines need to fix that problem. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Glad you made it. Mike says, Happy Independence Day. Late finding you today. How did you get on with your CT? All right, the CT went fine. That was the easiest part yesterday. But I'll tell you what the hard part was that kind of got to me last night. I got back from Roanoke. Of course, my good chair that fits on my rack on the car is in Roanoke. It's they had to keep it to try to figure out the electronics. What's wrong with it? So I got back home and it was 91 degrees here, whatever that is in Celsius, 39, something like that. Anyway, it was hot. So I try to get the new chair loaded. Yeah, I could get it on the lift, but it doesn't fit the straps. The straps are made specifically for that. this, the straps are made specifically for the C2. So I was trying to rig them any way I could. Now remember, it's 91 degrees and I'm standing up because I put the chair on the rack and it's up off the ground. Well, I was about to lose it. I gotten 3 of the straps done. Stanley, my guy, was out there mowing. I waved at him to come over and real quickly explained that I had to sit down. Could he just figure out a way to tie down the 4th strap? So he did. So that was fine. So then I drove over to where I got the CT scan. Of course, by then I'd got my breath back. It's only 10-minute drive or so, but still, I was just enough to get me recycled again. So I got out of the car and unstrapped it and got the chair off the lift and got in the chair and went inside. I had to go up to the window and they do the thing with the photo ID and insurance card, which is just taking copies of it because I'm in their system and nothing's changed. So that took about 3 minutes. When she gave me the cards back, I put them in my wallet, put the wallet in my pocket, turned the chair around and went about 4 feet, turned the chair around in the row of chairs in the kind of the middle of the room, waiting room. I pulled my phone out to hit the button that says checking in so I could say where I am, which I do that on a Facebook thing. And the girl calls me. I hadn't been in the building maybe 4 minutes. And she called me, went right downstairs. I took the crap out of my pockets, got on, sat on down on the table, pulled my feet up. Did get my legs up without any assistance. Lay down. They did the tests. I was in and out of there in another 3 minutes. By the time I got back upstairs in my chair and out the front door, maybe I'd been there 10 minutes. Here's the problem, though. Loading the chair back in the 91-degree heat was a you know what else I could put after that. It was awful. To the point of where I was literally holding on to keep myself off the floor, off the ground. I finally got it done because it's the where you can hook the straps, the piping is too big on that chair for the hooks that are in the strapping. So I had to rig it up, screwy, just to get it done. By the time I got home, I just pulled up to the front door, got out, went inside and said, sorry, guys, no way I can unload the chair today. I'm going to go do that now. So the chair is still on the back of the car, So I got to bring it in now and recharge it to make sure it's got plenty of charge because I'll be using that now until the C2 is ready. So that's my tale of woe, Mike, and that's why I didn't get promoted to what I was doing today because the computer wouldn't work. It was ridiculous. But anyway, we got through a show even though it was a little clumsy. Katie says you didn't take the mugshot down. Oh, no, I didn't, did I? Yeah, sorry, Katie. It's a pretty ugly shot too, isn't it? Let's go back and find that and get rid of that. Okay. So thank you, Katie. Let's see. Disney's is only one. I think they use drones now. Looks like fireworks, though, Gretchen says. Mike says hi to Katie. All right, guys. That's going to wrap it up for this holiday show. Sorry everything was so screwed up. But I'm glad you guys found it. Don't forget, smash that thumbs up button. That'll help. We have a reasonable number of people from X in the house today, which is nice to get those numbers coming back up. Anyway, you guys enjoy your holiday. Don't drink too much, especially don't drink if you're driving. And if you're doing the silly fireworks things, be careful. All right, guys. That's going to wrap me up for today. I've got to go try to rescue the chair. I'll get back to you sometime this weekend. If not, I'll see everybody Monday. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fabulous holiday and a great weekend.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chilliescruises.